Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing: single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today we have a special Rate the Regular show where we have a list that was comprised by our customers, not by us. My name is Steve Akeley, and I'm here flying solo today. What's up, gang? So hope all is well your way. Things are certainly going well my way. Enjoying the holiday season. It's definitely one of my favorite times of the year. I just really like how people are this time of the year. I feel it does bring out the best in mankind that people do get into this idea of it's a special time of the year. I feel like people are nicer to one another. Again, I'm not talking about political spectrum and all those things. There's certainly things you can point out that where life isn't too pleasant these days, and those continue to be bad, particularly online. But I'm talking about real life. I'm talking about like going to events, getting out in the public. I know that my family, my wife and I, and then my wife, daughter, and my future son-in-law, we went out to a pop-up Christmas bar, and so been to 2 of those this year. Again, one just the wife and I, then one with the extended family there. And it was a great time. And it's always amazing to me how jovial everybody is at these things. It's just, I don't know, I feel like I draw energy by being in such a positive situation. I don't know if that is the same for you guys, but people are in a good mood. They're having fun. And it makes me happy. It makes me have fun. And, just spending time with the family certainly is always a good time. And we do a lot of those type of things. I think that, I don't know that this is our best, holiday year, but we try to go in with like a plan of action. Like, this is what we want to do. We want to go to, Grant's Farm, which is a local attraction to their holiday nights this year. And we want to, be sure to go to these pop-up bars. And we want to have these special dinners during the course of the holiday season. And we want to go to these parties. So we kind of map out and put together a plan. And I think that's different than most people, but that's just something that we've done for years, with this idea of let's make the most of the holiday season, because there's a lot of things that happen, just this time of year. And we want to make sure that we miss as few of those as possible. You're not going to get to go to everything that you want to do, but you get to go to a lot of them. I know one we're missing out on this year that we haven't missed out on for many years now. We've had a nice streak of going to the Symphony for their special holiday concert. And for some reason or another, we didn't make it to the one this year. So that's kind of a bummer. But again, we got a lot of other cool things that we've been doing. I think we're going to go out one night just driving around in the car on our own and looking at Christmas lights and stuff like that. I think that's a fun thing too. There's all these different websites that'll tell you what neighborhoods have a lot of Christmas lights, or what individual houses and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, and I think everyone submits themselves, which is nice. It doesn't get creepy then. You're all of a sudden you look up and you're like, holy cow, my address is out there. I don't like the idea of that. But I think that's all stuff you have to submit yourself, which it makes it okay, because people put these things up with the idea of, of sharing, and they probably want them to be seen. And how nice is it that people that probably would have no idea that your house is decorated like that are able to find this online and then come by and see what you've done for the holiday season. I think that's really cool too. So there are a lot of cool traditions that are associated with this time of year that we don't get the rest of the year. So we'll get back to being our old crabby selves after the first of the year, because January and February are the worst, right? Those are the two longest months of the year. It feels like weather's bad. You don't get to go and do as many events. It just, especially for me, a guy who likes summertime and stuff like that, it's certainly my worst time of the year. I don't mind cold weather this time of the year leading up to Christmas. But once Christmas goes, then I want it to be warm again. And so that's something, if I ever would move to a place like Florida where it's warmer and stuff like that, I certainly would miss, some cold snaps during the holiday season. I think it just adds to it. So I don't even mind being outside, just bundling up. And I think that's part of the fun, too, of the holiday season. Our show today isn't about that. It is about a special event that we had. I got the opportunity to go on a barrel pick at Buffalo Trace. Now, initially, I talked to Rebecca Weller. She was the person that won this. She's a syndicate member, and but lives in Kansas. So, but her and her husband Stephen are as regular as you can be for living that far away from us. So they come in. Stephen actually works for a company that I believe is based out of St. Louis, or at least it has some sort of office presence here, because twice a year he comes in for business, and I think that's how he got to find out about us initially. So not only do they come those 2 times of the year when he has these meetings, but also several times they take vacation and things like that, and will stop in, and they participate in some ABV network events as well, and as well as some ABV Barrel Shop events. So things like our anniversary festival and stuff like that. Well, Rebecca wins through the Buffalo Trace Barrel Select program, which is something anyone can sign up for. You can sign up for the chance to win the opportunity to select a barrel. Now, that doesn't mean you can buy that barrel. It has to go through a liquor store, and I'm very pleased to note that Rebecca and Stephen, despite the fact that they live, I have no idea, 6 hours away, 7 hours away, driving, that they elected to utilize us to clear their barrel, and not somebody local or something like that, which means that when it comes time to, pick up their cases that they're going to buy, again, I have to buy the barrel, but they will be buying cases of it, and not only for themselves, but they're also, kind of taking orders for friends and stuff like that. Obviously, it's a big deal, Think about it, if your friend won the right to select a barrel, even if you didn't get the opportunity to help with that selection, you would probably be like, hey, I picked this barrel. It's our special barrel. Would you like any bottles or, potentially even cases of that? And you take orders from friends, and that's what they're going to be doing. But they got to come all the way to St. Louis to do that, again, which makes it pretty special. So initially, they came to me and said, what does this look like if we utilized you? And I said, hey, basically, you're in charge of this. This is kind of your thing. You guys won the right to do this. We're happy to be the ones that clear this for you, but you can, decide who gets to go and stuff like that. And they're like, okay, well, obviously we need you there. And I was like, okay, cool. And I had no idea. Is it just me? And then the rest are going to be their friends. You can take 8 people altogether. I had no idea how that the rest of the 8's going to line out. And they had a couple people that they had met at the shop at events and stuff like that they wanted to extend an invitation to, which is cool. And then they came back and said, Darren's invited as well. And I was like, oh man, I don't want Darren to miss this, because we'll probably never have the chance to do this again. We don't buy the things that you have to buy to get a Buffalo Trace barrel pick, unless someone or Darren or I wins the chance to buy a barrel from the Barrel Select program. We're not going to get a chance to select a barrel at Buffalo Trace, and that's one of the iconic distilleries in America, I believe. So I thought this is a special opportunity, and I made a few calls and stuff like that, and we got the rights to film it, and Freddie Johnson was going to lead it. Ultimately, those 2 things fall apart, by the way. So Bo has to cancel out, so it doesn't get filmed, which is sad. And then Freddie had got a call away where he couldn't do it. We were always told Freddie is not a lock. Freddie is, many people pull at Freddie for, and want to have him involved, and we have to respect that. If he gets a call to do something else, that's what he's going to be doing. We're not necessarily the priority that's going to take number one precedent of Freddie's time. So ultimately, those two things happen. We have someone else lead us, again, which is fine. Any experience at Buffalo Trace is great. So, but going back to Darren, I really wanted him to get him there. And the only thing, it was kind of a Hail Mary, really, because I had to ask my wife, who I knew was really guarded because she has 1 day of vacation left, corporate job, corporate stuff. You get so many days of vacation. If you take any more than that, it's, you can take off, but first of all, they're going to be mad at you. Second of all, you're not going to get paid. And my wife's not going to, do a non-paid thing. So, she had 1 day of vacation left. She kept talking about, I only got 1 day left. I can't do this. I can't do that. I only got 1 day left. Kept reminding me multiple times. And I had to come to her and say, hey, you got 1 day left. I know this. Could you use it to work in the shop? You can imagine how that goes over initially. And then I was like, here's why. It's a special pick. And Darren, and she's like, I don't like talking to, people, because she's an introvert. She's an accountant who's a classic introvert. And while she's knowledgeable about the stuff, she's an executive bourbon steward. She doesn't like the uncomfortableness of, being the only one in the shop who then has to answer every question, pick up the phone, talk to strangers. She doesn't like to do that, So I thought, well, here's what we could do. We could, we've had people say, if you ever get in a bind, I can help out. And I thought, well, let's test upon this. I'm going to throw it out there. We have a newsletter that goes to our Barrel Shop Syndicate, which is our club members, again, the customers that support us the most. I send out, an email in one of those newsletters that says, hey, we need some help at the shop, and here's why. And if you'd like to help out, let us know. And lo and behold, plenty of people sign up. It gets to a situation where we can have, we just have them work 2-hour shifts, which is nice. It's not an overwhelmingly amount. We're not like, hey, you got to come in and work for 8 hours or something like that. And not only that, in the evenings, we can actually have 2 people there. So that's when it can get crowded, busy, and it's nice to have 2 people helping versus 1, where it's, during the day, it's always going to be manageable with, 1 or 2 people. So we set that up, and, our customers, agree to do that, and it ends up being a great experience. The customers that signed up had a good time. So I'm going to, hopefully I don't leave anybody out here. So I'll tell you who did it. It was Katie Joyce and Chris Schott. They were there on Monday night. So again, what happened was Amy, my wife, after work, or AKA the warden, after work, goes in and goes to the shop right away, and then Darren leaves and he heads to Kentucky. So he had been working there later. I went there earlier because I had an event I was going to, playing cards with the crew. But Darren wasn't going to be able to play cards, but he was going to be able to head over later because he needed to spend the night, because we're going to have to be at the pick early. One of the guys was from St. Louis, didn't go. He left, he had to leave his house at 2 a.m. So I didn't want Darren to have to get in a situation where he had to get up and leave his house at 2 a.m. to get there in time to go to the barrel pick. So, I said, hey, and then Amy was able to get off a little bit early by, working through lunch and stuff like that. Again, corporate job. They're watching the time always. So she goes into work early. She stays through lunch, and she gets to get cut loose a couple hours early. That gives Darren a couple extra hours to get into Kentucky. He gets there, I don't know, about 9 o'clock or something like that, which isn't too terrible, actually. So, that was nice. So, he gets to go, and then our customers, so Katie and Chris Schott were there, and they worked the first night, and they end up, sending me, a note saying how much fun they had and when can they do it again. So I was like, when we're on to something. And also because while Darren was there, we had a very slow day. Once we get the crew there, all of a sudden things take off. We end up having a really nice day at the ABV Barrel Shop. So I was like, oh, this is going to be really nice. Turns it into an event, I guess. People want to come out and see how it's going with these folks working the bar. So, So that goes really great. They create the list that we're going to be talking about today. So that's one of the fun things too. That I guess they had some downtime and they decided to create their own rate the regulars list, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. And I'll talk about that after the break. So the next day, and then we had a day that started out with Tracy Alexander come over. She did an amazing job of coming over and helping out in the morning, kicking things off. It was slow as expected. I understand there was only one customer in during her shift, but that was okay. That was one less person. Amy would have had to engage and help out. So Tracy helped out there. And then next up was Tracy Klein. So Tracy Klein comes in following Tracy Alexander. And I understand during that time it was actually very busy. So, then second shift ends up being very busy. Then Dave Probst, also very busy during Dave's time there. So that kept it busy. And then it was the night was finished out with Dave Hogan-Miller and JP Knobloch. So those are the people that helped out. And I can't think of enough. I mean, it not only helps us do this pick, it keeps the store open during a very busy time of the year. I also say that it's important for us. We've closed the shop before for barrel picks, but they've been at slower times of the year. And the two times we've done it following, a holiday. Actually, we've done it three times. Two times we're following a holiday. So we we did an MGP pick and a Yellowstone pick, and those were following a major holiday. We had done a Jack Daniels pick too. That's back when my business partner Jim was still with us, and we took Darren with that one as well. We want them to be on these big picks. These are, if you're in the barrel picking business, you don't want to, miss out on opportunities like that. That's a good thing to have, and to be able to talk about. You learn a lot when you go on these things, for sure. So, just so cool that, our customers, gave us that opportunity to do this and to make it happen. I mean, it's almost magical to me that they would do that. And then it turns out to be great events. We had 2 great days at the shop, which again, I don't know that we would have had if it would have been just either Darren or I working there. It turned it into a happening, or really. So, Darren and I are going to figure out ways to take off more days. We know that. No, we're not going to do that. But, it's just kind of a fun idea that, hey, we are able to take a little time off, and that in lieu of us being there, our customers filled in, and not only just filled in, but had a great time there and did great business too. So we're going to do a little cheers to them, since I'm the only one in the cork pop. I've got some Deer Hammer single malt here. Let's see here. I'm showing it to the screen like I normally would when I got a crew here. This is just me. But, it was, for the record, it was officially showed to the screen and demonstrated. So let's see what we got here, cork pop wise. Not much. Sounds like victory, though, because, again, I'm the only one here. So there you go. Cheers to all of our customers that helped out and made sure that we were open. Oh, I know. I do want to throw this out there before we go to break. We are held to a higher standard than the big national chains, despite the fact that my life has changed forever being a small business owner. I will always support small business. Small business will be my priority to spend my money. I'm not going to say that I'll never spend, money at a big chain or conglomerate or anything like that. That's impossible. We have to live our lives. I'm also a frequent user of Amazon, which is probably the biggest example of a big conglomerate, though it feels very friendly because they come to your house and bring the stuff to you. But at the same time, they are a huge conglomerate. So I'm not bashing them, but I'm just saying if you can prioritize and spend your dollars when you can at small business, it's great, because we are held at a very high standard. Us taking off in the middle of the holiday season, I feel like could have been potentially very detrimental for people who are coming in kind of when they need us. Hey, I want to get some special holiday gifts, and then they show up, and of course we'd have that online and stuff like that. But if you're not piped in with us, you wouldn't necessarily see that, and they might show up and we're not there, and they'd be like, small business, not even there when they're supposed to be. Screw them, I'm never going back there. And they probably never would come back. That's just how it goes with a small business. You get one chance. That's it. And I always like to say, it doesn't matter how many times McDonald's screws up your order. It doesn't matter that if 100 times they screwed up your drive-in order and you get back home and it wasn't there what you thought it was going to be. Guess what? The next time you feel hungry and you're out on the road, you pull into McDonald's and go for time number 101. It doesn't matter. For some reason, we give a benefit of the doubt to these crappy multi-billion-dollar chains, and we just figure, well, it's the problem is their help, it's not them, or whatever. But with the small business, we don't give chances like that. We give one chance, and if it's not what we view it to be perfection, we move on and go to something else. So I didn't want to be off during that time. So again, thanks so much to those customers for helping us keep our store open during our busiest time of the year, and to making the dream of doing a Buffalo Trace pick live and in person versus a kit or something like that a reality. That's always going to be very special to me and to Darren and to the ABV Barrel Shop. We appreciate it. All right, what we're going to do next, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about this list created by Chris and the judge. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
This is Lenny Eckstein, and to set the record straight, I am a vegan, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is a list, and I want to put this in. I always feel like these lists are made official when we do a podcast, and I want to make sure that this is an official list, entered into, the records, and we enter it into the records by doing a show with it. So they created a top 10 list, and we're going to keep this hanging up as our sole list for a while of Rate the Regulars, and this was done by Katie the Judge Joyce and Chris Schott, aka just Schott. So this is their list. Again, what's their rationale? Is it right? Is it wrong? It's right because that's what they say it is. It's their list. If you want clarification on any of these, see them. So the first one, number one on their list, is the Warden. So she makes number one. They were happy to be there and having the opportunity to, again, they asked me, they want to work together again. And they ranked the Warden number one because her being there and running the register was key. That's something they didn't know how to do. And if she's not there running the register, the place isn't open. So they made her number one. Number 2 was the Hoyles. The Hoyles are always very supportive of anything that we do. If we've got any sort of event, they tend to be there, and just great friends of what we've done. And from the beginning, I go back and sometimes I'll look at the pictures of our first day in business, and the Hoyles are there. They've been with us from day number 1, and always are with us. So that's cool. Ranked number 3 on their list is Wayne, aka Mr. 250 Plus. So they have nicknames for everybody else on the list. 250 Plus refers to, I guess it was uncovered recently by Wayne, of course, but the people were asking how many Nobleton's bottles does he have, and he claims that he quit counting at 250. 250 was enough to make him the number 1 fan, and so he quit counting after that. So he has over 250 bottles just from one distillery, Nobleton's, in Union, Missouri. So everyone thinks that's pretty crazy. I don't know. I've bought over 6,000 bottles myself, so yeah. Well, I don't have 250 in my house, so everyone wants to point that out. But I did pay for these. Everybody's like, well, the store bought them. The store is my bank account. I'll tell you where that money came out of, my bank account, when I bought all those bottles. So no one has bought more Nobleton's bottles than me. That's a fact. Who has more at their house, though? Wayne certainly does. Number 4 is Becca makes the list, and this is the note is Shot wants to suck up. I guess he's on the Becca shit list, which is something a lot of our regulars find themselves on, particularly Shot. He puts his foot in his mouth a lot, and he thought by putting her on the list at number 4, all those problems go away. And I don't think they did. I think she was quick to point out, good try, but that's not going to get her in the good graces. So, but she stands on the list at number 4. Number 5 is Demetrius Kane. Again, just a popular figure with the ABV Barrel Shop. I mean, again, there's pictures of him on day 1, standing at the bar. Again, a good friend of mine, great supporter of what we do. He's done a lot of things to help make sure that shop is a success, and he certainly deserves to be on any list that we're creating in that type of way. Number 6, I made the list. I've never made a list before for Rate the Regulars because I've always been involved in making the list. I wasn't involved in this one, and I came in at number 6. Number 7 is the Modicas. And the reason they got listed is for all you do with MapTap. Now, Linda is on MapTap. I don't know how much she is doing behind the scenes to help out. Maybe she's helping Matt, maybe with some ideas or something like that. But Matt's done all the stuff. We have this MapTap group where we submit our scores, and then we get a spreadsheet with all kinds of stats and cool stuff like that. And it also accuses people of cheating, if they're too far from the deviation and stuff like that. I don't know. It's fun. It's a goofy thing that we do every day. And I don't know how many people are in the group now. It's like 25 or something like that. It's a lot of fun, and it gives us a little bit of joy every single day. So, thanks to Matt Modica for taking that on his own and just doing that. It's not like he gets paid or anything. He just does it for fun out of his own kindness, which is pretty cool. All right, next up is Jeff Andrizzi, and he's noted as the thoughtful patron. I think that's because he's just a good guy. I mean, I know it's because he's just a good guy. Jeff is a caring person. I think it comes about, though, because he sent a wedding gift to Katie. So I'm not even sure he had ever met Katie at that point. I think he met her for the first time this July at our anniversary festival. But before that, he had never met Katie. But he sent her a wedding gift, and I think she was really... I think it was pretty special to her. I think that meant a lot, that someone that she didn't know, had only met through podcasting and stuff like that, would actually send her a wedding gift. And that's where he gets Mr. Thoughtful Patron from. Jim Gaffigan makes the list. So Jim Gaffigan ends up at number 9. And, Shot was part of this, and he and I went together to see Jim Gaffigan. We got to hang out with Jim Gaffigan after his show in Louisville, Kentucky, and Jim Gaffigan's going to be coming to the shop. That just got announced. He is going to be doing a private event for our Barrel Shop Syndicate in January. He's coming to St. Louis for 3 shows. I understand that ticket sales, he started out, he's doing 1 show, then they added a 2nd show, then they added a 3rd. In talking with his people behind the scenes, a 4th show might be added. Ticket sales are going that well. So he's apparently very popular in St. Louis. It's going to be a great opportunity for people to meet him behind the scenes, which is pretty darn cool. And then last but not least, coming in at number 10, the Judge and Shot. They make the list, and they note, would it really be a list if we didn't include ourselves? So they included themselves on the list, and they come in at number 10. So that's the list. Again, one last time: the Warden, the Hoyles, Wayne, Becca, Demetrius, me, the Monicas, and Drizzy, Jim Gaffigan, and the Judge and Shot. That is our 10 that'll be officially entered now into the records for Rate the Regulars. That's going to be hanging up in the shop until Darren and I get back together and we work on who is going to be on our next official list. But for right now, that's the list and the official list of the ABV Barrel Shop. Pretty cool that they came up with doing that just on their own for something fun to do while Darren and I were out of town. That's going to wrap this one up. We'll talk about where we can find me. I, of course, am available on all social media platforms just under my name, Steve Akeley. That's the best way to find us. I mean, we've got other social media too, ABV Network and stuff like that, but those, I don't know, they're not that active. The one that you want to follow for everything is just follow me across all social platforms. Also, we have a website that is abvnetwork.com. That's where we put all of our content. And of course, if you want to see us, come by the ABV Barrel Shop, the place that we're talking about today. It's a situation we can try before you buy. It'll be either Darren or I, or perhaps our customers working there when you come in. You never know. So check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. And, there's a couple things you can do to help us out, in terms of the ABV network. The first is, wherever you listen to this podcast, whatever the platform is, give us a 5-star review with comments. New people find us that way. That's important to us. And last but not least, head over to patreon.com/the ABV Network. That's going to do it for today. For tomorrow, we'll have a brand new show for you. Very much looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya. Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.